So here's the guitar in the box. Got your thomann sticker. That's a good cardboard box. It's the HBD-120N. So inside is a natural finish guitar. Let's crack it open. Okay, nicely packed. Right, inside we've got two scratch plates, red one, black one, and a truss rod adjustment Allen key. God, here it comes. Wow. Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, it's a nice looking guitar. So, they've even got this string protector on there. Well, I'm very impressed by the packaging. I mean, I guess it's got to come all the way from China to Germany, and then Germany to Austria, or anywhere else in the world. But that does lead me to believe that they were not inspected by Thomann, and they've come straight from the factory like that. So, let's get rid of this box. Yeah, so we've got this sticker on the top. It says it was inspected by someone called Jack. Well, thanks Jack. Thanks for packing it so well. Let's I'm going to cut your name off the guitar now, sorry. Very carefully, because I can never get these things off with my fingers. There we go. So Jack, thank you very much. Harley Benton. Yeah, I was right, there's no scratch plate on there, so you're going to want to stick that one on there, or the red one, or I'd probably leave it without either. I don't know, I'm more of a non-scratch plate kind of guy. Okay, that was asking a bit much, expecting it to be in tune. Let's take a quick rundown of the parts. Here's the guitar a little bit closer. So, this body's not bad. That noise is my other camera focus adjusting. There's a little sticker. And fretboard looks okay. Not entirely uniformly dark, so they're using, I don't know if it's true, but in my opinion the cheaper cuts of rosewood, but that's fine for a price of this. There's the headstock. There's your Harley Benton. I don't know, that's a sticker. So that's just a sticker on there. I wouldn't expect that to be inlaid. Machine heads. There's the nut. Focus, focus, focus. There's the nut. Plastic, of course. As is the bridge and bridge pins. They're all plastic. Saddle, sorry. It's QC passed. There it is. QC pass. And don't throw it away, maybe? Recycle? I don't know. That looks like a natural joint on there. There doesn't seem to be a scarf joint on this. Not that that matters at a guitar at this price point, but there's a join there I can see. Back looks lovely. Really, really nice. So yeah, bit of a dark spot just there. Nothing to worry about. And that's just some packaging on the guitar. Cool. So overall, very impressed. Generally speaking, that's really, really nice. Right, let's tune it up and see what we get. Okay, so we're in tune. I just want to point out that when you're tuning up a guitar for the first time, make sure that you pull these strings out after. So tune it once and give these strings a good pull, and tune it again, and you'll find that the strings stay in tune a lot longer. Let's have a quick listen. Okay, cool. So, what have I expected from this guitar? I'm expecting the action to be able to be a little bit lower. So, for me, the action's too high. Marginally, it needs to come down, and I'll bring that down by filing down the saddle a little bit. The nut seems to be cut pretty well. Yeah, for the purpose of this guitar, which is for a beginner, I don't want it too low so the guitar buzzes, because they're going to be making all sorts of new gestures and new movements, but I don't want it too high that the strings are too hard to push down, which is often a common failure of cheap guitars. The nut has been cut so badly, you have to really press to get these strings down. So all guitar players are either a beginner right now or have been a beginner at some point, and probably remember how hard it is to press these strings down and how painful it can be. So the easier it is to press down, the more chances this person is of enjoying guitar learning. I'm going to file this bridge saddle down. I'm going to put graphite in the nut slots to help that slide a little bit more. I'm going to check these are tight, because I often find that with cheaper guitars the machine heads are not very tight. I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean, because I've noticed just here there's some black. I don't know what that is. It looks like small pieces of wood cut and caught underneath the binding. But frankly, I'm amazed that it has binding on for this price. So let's start by taking the strings off. Where is my doofer? There is my doofer. This is the Planet Waves string winder. I'm not taking the strings off entirely because I need to use these strings to judge how much I need to sand off. But, okay. Inside, in the bridge where the saddle goes, this piece of metal's just popped out, which must have been underneath this saddle. Okay. I may not need to sand it at all, but you may notice that I'll just get a bit closer. The piece of metal is not actually the same length as the saddle, so you're not going to get full contact with the bridge, which means it's not going to resonate as well as it could. Okay, then in that case, I'm just going to pop this back in without that piece of metal and retune. That's back in tune again, and I really don't think there was any need for this piece of metal. It's about 2 millimeters thick, that. Okay, honestly I would probably take that down a bit more. So, I should mention that I did check the neck relief, and yeah, it looks fine. So neck relief looks fine. I'm just noticing all these little globules of stuff, which honestly, if you're paying the money you've paid for this guitar, you should be expecting. The finish is really good, but it's not great. Okay. So far, plus points for the guitar. It just made it very easy for me to adjust the saddle. That was good. More plus points for the guitar. The machine heads are great. I've played some other Harley Benton guitars, and the machine heads slipped a little bit. On that Telecaster that I played recently, the machine heads were slipping a little bit. But on this one, they're turning really nicely, smooth, strong, and they feel reliable. Okay, saddle's out. Now what I'm going to do is take a sanding block here, and that's got about 400 grit on it. Just going to run it back and forth a few times after I've made a mark. So here's my pencil, and I'm going to make a mark of about 2 millimeters. I'm going to take the edge off that with my knife. Got a bit of a whiskering around the edge. Right, let's try that. Okay, and that, as far as I'm concerned, is job done. There's the saddle, and it's quite low on this top E and this B string, but it sounds good and it plays well. So I'm going to leave it just there and get on with the next step. As I'm taking the strings off, I just want to point out how impressed I am with the machine heads on this guitar. They're so smooth and they're so reactive. They're not as good as the ones you get on higher end guitars, but they're certainly better than other tuners I've used on guitars of this price range. Fantastic. Bridge pins are out. Give everything a little brush. There. Time for some oil. I'm going to be using the Jim Dunlop 65. There we go. Now the strings I'm going to be using are the Harley Benton 12 gauge anti-rust coated phosphor acoustic steel string set. Yeah, they're a budget string brand. Ugh. So budget I can't get the packet open. There we go. And there they are. So they come in this, again, cheap looking plastic covers. But I have used them before, and for a budget string, they're pretty good. Let's hope they behave when I unravel them. Yeah, there we are. So, let's string this bad boy up. So I'm on shaky hand camera, but here is how I like to string my strings. What we do is on the first way around, the excess string is going to go underneath this part of the string. On the second way around, the second round. So, time to talk about string wrapping. Here's how I like to string my guitars. What I do is I run the string through the machine head. On the first way round of this rotation, this part of the string is going to go underneath this part of the string, all the way until it gets right round back again, and the second time it's going to go over top of the string, thus locking the string in place. Also, to get the right position, I like to pull the string tight and pull it back to the first fret. There we go. Bend it off, and I'll show you now from the other camera. So, on the first way around, this part of the string is going underneath. The string we're going to use is on top of the excess. The excess has gone underneath. Now, on the second way around, the string is going to go underneath this, and this part is going to come over top of the string. Here we go. Doing this one-handed. So, let's pull that string back in place, and then that top part goes over the string. So the first time was under, the second time is over. Now our string is locked in position. Take it around a bit more. Now the string has a nice simple knot, which increases tuning stability. There we go. Cool, so that's how I string my guitars and how I recommend you string your guitars. Works for electric and acoustic. Time to get some graphite in these nut slots. You can either put some pencil in there like that, or what I like to do is to hold the pencil there and using a knife scrape some dust off and then push it into the slot. If you're doing this, don't be tempted to blow away the excess, because you're just going to blow away everything. Wait until you've put the strings back on. This will look quite dirty, so get those strings back on. Now you can blow that away, and that is the guitar set up. I don't want to do any more to it. As I've said, the machine heads are fantastic. The nut is now lubricated, we've got new strings, and the saddle is adjusted to where I think it should be.